Hi guys, another topic about retro games. I want to talk about another gaming series, and this time I want to talk about Resident Evil. Um, as you know, my gaming time was in the late 90s, early 2000s. My first console was a N64, and after that I bought myself a PlayStation 1. And Resident Evil 1 was, yeah, some friends of mine back then we could rent gaming consoles. In America, I guess it was Blockbuster, and here in Germany we have stores like that where you could rent movies and video games, and you could rent, of course, the PlayStation 1. And friends of mine rented Resident Evil. I was a little bit younger. I guess I was 14 years old, 15 years old when I heard first about Resident Evil. And then playing this with my friends, it was an eye-opener, especially when you are 15, 16, you are a teenager. PlayStation 1, of course, was a target group by Sony, and yeah, and of course Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy VII. Sony was our console, of course, and the PlayStation 1 and the PSX, like we called it. Yeah, I know PSX is a PlayStation 2 console with video function, but before that, in our cycle, we gamer called it PSX. I don't know why. I guess it must have been the term for the prototype PlayStation X, but we call it PSX. And this console, Resident Evil 1 especially, because a lot of people are talking about the remake on the GameCube when they're talking about Resident Evil 1. But in my opinion, Resident Evil 1, it's quite different even compared to the second and third title, because Resident Evil 1, it had in the intro live action. The protagonists were introduced, these were real people, residents of evil, salute. The actors, they made even a fan film, Itchy Tasty. Even a book is called that, which I own, which I love to read. It's about the Resident Evil series in the beginning. And yeah, Resident Evil 1, it had a feeling it was, of course, a video game, but it wasn't an action bombast. It wasn't about a big laboratory, 1,000 zombies, a very big corporation. It was all calm, it was all small, it was all dense. You were a part of Special Forces police unit, STARS. Special tactics and rescue service, I guess, STARS. And yeah, you were just a small group. You were looking for another squad. And of course, you were part of the Alpha team, either as Jill Valentine or Chris Redfield. And you were looking for the missing members of the Bravo team of STARS. Alpha team, Barry Burton, of course, comes to mind. Favorite in the series. It was for most people, I guess, the father figure. And Albert Wesker, of course, blonde hair in the first game. Wesker was my buddy. I liked him very much, especially in the intro, sunglasses, styling his hair. Wesker had the right attitude in the first one, and yeah, not in the end, of course, but as a character, I liked him a lot. And yeah, you were not as a video game character. You were kinda realistic people. Of course, Jill Valentine was supposed to be in Delta Force with her age at early 20s. No, you don't join Delta Force when you are this young, I guess. But video game character writing, of course. Chris Redfield, yeah, was kind of not so serious in the beginning. He had a lot of fun, I guess, by speaking the lines. And the actor who played Chris is in the fan film Itchy and Tasty, Residents of Evil. Watch this movie, support the movie, please. Support Residents of Evil YouTube channel, please. Yeah, it was just great. Especially the intro. Our Resident Evil version we had in Germany, the Resident Evil Director's Cut, our intro was in color. We did not have the theme when you discover the first zombie, where Kenneth was killed, one member of the Mabu team. When you engage the zombie, you see him how he eats the member of Bravo team, a zombie, obviously, and he's facing the camera. But before that, in the Japanese version, you see the head fall on the floor. And I guess in the PC Windows version, you can see this short part of the movie as well. But alone the intro, real time, live action, real actors. Yeah, Resident Evil didn't felt like a video game. It was more like an adult, mature video game, but not a video game. It's more like a mature, title. And it was, for me at least, first of its kind. And I liked it just for the style of it. The Resident Evil 1 mention, it was like Shenmue, I guess. Like Shenmue in the way of being liminal. Liminal spaces comes in mind always quite a lot these days. Yeah, it was no overdrive. You as a squad, the enemies, the bosses, the sub-bosses. It was all minimal, and I liked it quite a lot. Especially Resident Evil 1. When the movie came out, the first movie with Milla Jovovich, it was filmed, I guess, I think in Germany, Berlin, Potsdam, DEFA Studios, some parts of it. And I think the villa in the movie was filmed in some villa in Potsdam, a city nearby Berlin as well. And growing up in the same area, I really liked it. The colors, the tones. It was like watching the movie, being in the neighborhood. I liked it quite a lot. And it was, quite mellow. it wasn't over the top, and the whole mention from Resident Evil 1 feels like it. Even the laboratory at the end of the game, just a few rooms. Even Resident Evil 2 had this kind of a big laboratory. Resident Evil 1 did not have this. It was quite, as you would imagine, really a laboratory for some small scientist group. And yeah, it was kind of realistic. Yeah, not over the top, in my opinion. Resident Evil 1, one of my favorite games of all time, PlayStation 1 Director's Cut. I love to replay it with Jill's campaign in advanced mode. It was way more harder, new costume, new camera angles, item placement, a lot different. I watched a Let's Play of a normal playthrough of Resident Evil and I thought myself, why are the items replaced this awkward? When I play Resident Evil 1, I always have the advanced Director's Cut version in mind. And especially Jill's outfit, totally 90s girls outfit, boots, her haircut reminds me a lot of Major Kusanagi of Ghost in the Shell, of course. It was 90s, it was peak 90s. Like with Leon's haircut in Resident Evil 2. Yeah, back then in the 90s it was modern. Yeah, more I do not want to say about this topic. And yeah, Resident Evil 2 came shortly after that. I guess it was 2 years. And of course, everyone who was in this time period who had a PlayStation played Resident Evil 2. It was and still is the masterpiece for the PlayStation 1. In the same league as Metal Gear Solid 1, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, Tomb Raider trilogy, the first title, Tekken 2, Tekken 3, those are the titles who are made the PlayStation 1 what it is, in my opinion. Liked Resident Evil quite a lot. Animations are not this kind of advanced as in Resident Evil 3, in my opinion. A lot more stiff, but a lot more rounded than Resident Evil 1, of course. But Resident Evil 1 and 2 are in the same state of development, in my opinion. Resident Evil 3 were a lot better, even better than Code Veronica, because it was developed a little bit later or from another team. I liked Resident Evil 2 a lot, but it's a lot of moving around, backtracking. I liked Claire Redfield a lot as a character. Leon back then was another Leon. Leon back on the PlayStation 1, Resident Evil 2, he wasn't the rookie as in Resident Evil 2 remake as he were placed there. Leon in Resident Evil 2, PlayStation 1 version, were aggressive. He was not the small rookie who was afraid of doing something. He was young, he was a young man, and it shows. And he had an attitude. The Resident Evil 2 remake Leon do not have an attitude, in my opinion. Leon in Resident Evil Remake 2 was kind of like a boy's attitude, in my opinion. In the remake of Resident Evil 2, I did not like the campaign, or I did not like to play with Leon. I always played with Claire, and later with mod for the PC version, so I could play Leon's campaign as Claire with her model because I like the weapons, Desert Eagle, shotgun. The weapon arsenal is way more fun with Leon's campaign. Yeah, PlayStation 2 version Resident Evil 2, it's a short game, it's a perfect game, like it quite a lot. A/B scenarios, really good. Yeah. Resident Evil 3, PlayStation 1. Was my personal favorite title of the 3 ones for the PlayStation 1 because game design really good, animations really good. Jill, you play as Jill again, third title. Walking down the stairs was in one motion, not stay in front of the stairs, press action, press X. So the your character was moving downstairs. It was way more fluid. The weapons were a lot of fun. The Beretta 92, this so-called Samurai Edge by Kendo. The shotgun was way fun. I did not like the Colt Python. I rather had the Desert Eagle in Resident Evil 3, but I really liked a lot the carbine, the 5.56, the 223 AR-15 rifle. I guess it was a Colt one. Back in the late 90s, Colt M4A1 was back then the AR-15 type kind of rifle, and liked it quite a lot. A burst mode. The burst mode and the damage of the AR-15 felt like it was caliber 22, not even Magnum. Maybe low noise, low velocity 223, 5.56, because the damage wasn't there. You had to put a lot of rounds in the enemy. But kinda strangely, the hunters in Resident Evil 3 kinda died fast from the AR-15. Yeah, but I liked it how Jill, when you were in burst mode, you did shoulder the rifle, and shooting with it was quite fun. Pistol Beretta was okay. Later, if you mixed up the ammo, you could do more powerful rounds, plus P rounds, I guess. Same with the shotgun. The shotgun with plus P ammunition was really fun, but the second pistol, the target pistol, which you can get by defeating Nemesis quite a few times, when you had the rocket launcher in the mercenary mode, game mode, you were able to achieve unlimited ammo for the assault rifle, for AR-15, for the carbine, and of course the rocket launcher. I always use the rocket launcher and unlimited ammo and the AR-15 carbine just for fun, not looking at the ammo, just running through Resident Evil 3 because it's dense, it's compact, a lot of enemies. I really played Resident Evil 3 not like a survival horror title, more like an action title, and it still is very fun, a lot of fun. Like I played today Resident Evil 2 Remake. Sometimes I played as a survival horror, sometimes I played with Nexus mods with a lot of ammo and just having fun, shooting everything. Because weapon mechanic in RE2 Remake are really good. Not even Resident Evil 4 Remake comes close to this, in my opinion. Yeah, Resident Evil 3 Remake had quite good weapons as well, but I did not like that you had at the beginning a plastic Glock, polymer Glock, of course. I love the Glock system quite well, but it depends in video games on how the guns feels and sounds. And in Resident Evil Remake 3, the Glock did not sound this powerful, in my opinion. But it was quite fun to play with, strangely. Yeah. But Resident Evil 3 Remake, I will talk a little bit later. So Resident Evil 3, back then in Germany, I bought the UK version because German censorship back then was a bit more strict. In the German version of Resident Evil 3, you had zombies who did not bleed. They had smoke effects. The enemies were blinking when they were down, like an arcade game. So it's not to being referred to being human, I guess. What was the goal of that? And the real bummer was the mercenary mode in the German version. I later learned when you put down zombies, you did not get seconds for them. So the mercenary mode in the German version was kind of the hardest version for Resident Evil 3, PlayStation 1 version, to achieve all the gadgets and points, I guess. And yeah, Resident Evil 3, loved it, still love it today. Resident Evil Code Veronica came after that for the Sega Dreamcast, and in my opinion it's felt more like a pre-Resident Evil 3 games, that it came out after Resident Evil 2 and before Resident Evil 3. Because you still have the stair animations of Resident Evil 2, and the animations were not quite there as in 3. Maybe it's about why it was another team, or technique was still different. Everyone back then loved with Code Veronica because it was fully 3D. I was one of the people who did not like it. Nowadays the HD version looks a lot better. Moving camera, of course, nowadays it's more pleasant on the eyes. The pre-rendered backgrounds, the sequencing between them, it's quite tiring on the eyes, for me at least today. Code Veronica made a much more better job. But back then it did not look like the pre-rendered backgrounds of Resident Evil 1 to 3. It looked okay for a 3D game of its time, but it did not achieve the grade of detail which the pre-rendered backgrounds back then did achieve. And okay, it was dark. It played a lot with the dynamic light, especially with the Zippo, with the fire which you can use. And yeah, of course you could play again as Claire. Loving Claire, of course everyone loves Claire. Who does not love her? And Kai Morgan, of course. Yeah, it's our Claire. Yeah, and Claire, Kai Morgan from the YouTube channel Ink Ribbon. Please take a look there as well. Love you, man. Love your cat, of course. And yeah, a cat person can't be a bad person, of course. So, Code Veronica was quite difficult if you played it the first time. If you did not know what you were doing, obviously when you played it the first time, you did not know when to put weapons away, items away, because you were changing to Chris Redfield, the second part. And if you had at the boss fight at the end of Claire and you had the best weapons with her, you could not use them with Chris. And the best weapon in Resident Evil Code Veronica is the Beretta 98 R Republica, or Replica. It's R stands for repeatedly or for burst in Italian. I don't know the Italian word. Sorry, my Italian viewers. But R stands for the burst mode, how I understand it. and it's one of the most sexy Beretta system in my opinion. It looks way different than the 92. Just look it up, looks really good. And yeah, Code Veronica, really good game. When you know what you're doing, I just recently replayed it for my Let's Plays, which are coming up further on. Yeah, loved it. The other character, Steve Burnside, yeah, he is there. But he's a kid, he's annoying. I don't like him this much, but when I replayed it now, he wasn't this annoying anymore. Don't know what it is, but yeah. Code Veronica. What came after this? Resident Evil. I guess for me it's yeah. Resident Evil Survivor came out after Resident Evil 2. Used a lot of assets. It's a short first-person light gun shooter. Light gun depends on the region of the game. I played it with just the analog pad. I guess you guys in America did not have the option to play with the digital, with the G-Con. It was a physical light gun which you can use on your CRT. Obvious because about the terrible accident, Columbine, of course. Just a big tragedy, and of course someone had to be blamed. And back in the 90s, I think what we know, Europeans who was blamed in America were of course the video games. And yeah, just Resident Evil Survivor was an okay game. I did rent it back then in the pendant to Blockbuster, rented just out. Bought it then, I guess, for a short time. It was okay. Yeah, this was my time with Resident Evil. In my opinion, Resident Evil 4, which came after that for the GameCube, and I was not in gaming involved anymore. I totally missed Resident Evil 4. This was then my PC time. I could afford my own PC and switched from PlayStation 2 to and Xbox, original Xbox, to PC. And yeah, it was. And I did not like, personally, the setting of Resident Evil 4. It was the brown video game era, Gears of War, Resident Evil 4. All games were suddenly in this brownish tone. But when I played later Resident Evil 4 for the PC, I did like the gun mechanics, the action. It was, in my opinion, too much action. It was kind of survival horror in the beginning, but at least when you're in the part of the castle, it was way more action. And yeah, it was over the top, and it was Resident Evil 4. A lot of people say it's one of the perfect games. I can see why, but for me personally, it's not my favorite game. It counts as a Resident Evil, but for me it's not a survival horror. My Resident Evil games are 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica. Those four titles are for me what makes Resident Evil, what makes Resident Evil for me, what I love to play even today. And yeah, I guess that's it, what I can say about Resident Evil. No, the Resident Evil remakes. Resident Evil 1 remake for the GameCube, of course, played it a little bit later when it came out For the PC, the Resident Evil HD was it called, I guess. I can see why a lot of people like it a lot. Made the atmosphere, level design, peak design, of course. But I did not like the characters. Jill and Chris and the whole group were kinda comically, in my opinion. It wasn't real actors. It wasn't real action time, live action, so to say. I respect the remake, but it's not my cup of tea. It's the characters, the whole tone of the game. It was totally different than the PlayStation 1 Resident Evil, in my opinion. Resident Evil 2 remake. I do not play this often, these new games. I'm more a retro game player. A PlayStation 1 era, of course. But the remake of Resident Evil 2 peak video game design. I love this game because it's fast. Going from room to room feels really good. Item placement is really good. The first part in the police station, and if you come back a little bit later after the underground part, Resident Evil 2 remake it's nearly perfect. When you cut out Mr. X, the stalker, which you can do with the PC version when you mod it, no more Mr. X mod at Nexus Mods, just look it up, makes the whole game totally different game. You can really breathe and take your time, and I like it a lot. One of the perfect games which I play today a lot. Resident Evil 3 remake, very good mechanics, like it quite a lot. If it would be a little bit longer, would have had more content, it would be perfect as well. But it's too much content. It's way too short, in my opinion. Resident Evil 3 remake feels like an add-on to Resident Evil 2 remake, in my opinion. But what it offers when you play is still gunplay, weapon play. It's really fun. Nemesis. Was there. There even is a mod where you can freeze Nemesis, so you can play as well a little bit more calm. And yeah, I like Resident Evil remake, but too short, so it's not in my Hall of Fame, so to say. And Resident Evil 4 remake was quite a surprise. As I mentioned, I did not like Resident Evil 4, the original, this much, due to the setting, but Resident Evil 4 remake played a lot in the dark, at night. Of course, it was still overdrive, over the top, but I really like Resident Evil 4 remake, just because of the gun play. There is a Resident Evil framework where you can change the FAUV, the field of view, and I like to play with a more wide field of view, and the gun mechanics in Resident Evil 4 are not as peak as in Resident Evil Remake 2, Resident Evil 2 Remake, but it's a lot of fun. Impact, you can feel it, the enemies, animations, it's really good. Way to go with, for me personally, I always use the option to show less gore effects in the PC version. You can do that, and yeah, and it was sometimes it was so brutal. It was kind of funny. It was nonsense. But Resident Evil 4 remake does not take itself this much seriously, and you can feel it, and it was a good decision. Leon, over the top Leon, of course, everyone loves Leon. Leon, in my opinion, is okay. I like him in the PlayStation 1 version of Resident Evil 2, but yeah, it's Leon. It's like he is there, okay, but in Resident Evil Requiem, I don't get it why Leon is everybody's favorite. He is there, he's okay. In Resident Evil Requiem, the Let's Play, which I watched at Bruga, a German Let's Player, of course, it was fun, it was okay. Resident Evil Requiem, the first part, phenomenal when you played with the woman. And yeah, Resident Evil 5 was okay, played it back then, PC version was a lot of, the gunplay was a lot of fun. Resident Evil 6 I tried a lot to play, but the active time events totally ruined it for me. I tried it twice. I played the demo on the PlayStation 3 back then with Leon and his partner, the woman. This part was quite fun for the demo. Resident Evil 6, can't say anymore. Personally, I did not like it at all. Way too much action. Even as an action game, why do you make an action game when you have limited resources and you need them, limited ammo? It wasn't my cup of tea. Resident Evil 7, yeah, I heard so much good about it. I tried it once. It was okay for one playthrough, and I did not like the smelly, dirty house which a game took place with all the mold. I played the game, and after playing the game, I have to take a shower. It was even the normal rooms where the game took place. The normal rooms, everything felt mild, morty. I guess it was, the developers, they did it on purpose, of course. When you see the story, you know why it all became this dirty. But I didn't like it. Played it once. Level design was okay, but it wasn't a Resident Evil 1 like everyone was talking about, in my opinion. Yeah, in the first part, when you get the shotgun, it kind of felt like Resident Evil, the classic ones, but very fast it did not felt like it. It was way more streamlined. Yeah, personally I did not like it. Resident Evil 8, played it once as well. Played the PC version where you had a third-person view. Played it this way. It felt more like an arcade, like an action-adventure game. For that, it was really good. But it's no title to replay, in my opinion. Resident Evil Requiem. Nowadays, I watch more Let's Plays, and I'm glad I watched the Let's Play of Bruga. The first parts were a lot of fun to watch. I wasn't going to buy the game because my graphics card, the GTX 1080 in 2026 with 8GB of RAM, it holds up most of the games, but not Requiem. I guess wouldn't one have this well, and the game was okay, and the first part, but the part with Leon in Raccoon City, zombies are coming out of the ground. No, I skipped every part of it. The boss, the big spider, I thought to myself, what's that? That's not even Resident Evil 5 level, in my opinion. Then enemies are shooting at you, like in Resident Evil 6, and they're using mortars, mortar fire. The short part in the Resident Evil police district, the part from Resident Evil 2 remake, it was okay, but everything was brown again. It felt like Gears of War in Resident Evil 4 back in the 2010s, brown video time. Everything was brown and grey and yellow, and now I skipped every part of the last Leon campaign when I watched the Let's Play, and even the laboratory. I don't know, it's just me, but the doors, they look sci-fi, but in a bad way. It doesn't look serious anymore. Resident Evil always was cheesy, of course, but I did not like the style. Everything was huge, the rooms did not make any sense at all, design-wise. The green doors. In Resident Evil Remake 3, the laboratory at the end, yeah, it was kind of cheesy, but it was kind of realistic. But the one in Resident Evil Requiem, no. It felt really just like a video game. Like, the whole Let's Play that I watched, in my opinion, the beginning of Resident Evil Requiem was really good. It was really groundbreaking. Visuals, when you play with a woman in the hotel area, it was really, really good. And of course, the asylum part was really, really good. But I still don't know how this little girl, woman, could handle, yeah, this immense Russian revolver, Magnum. It's not 50 Action Express, but it's another Magnum caliber, and if I would use it's a hand cannon, it's not a handgun. If I would use this thing, and I did not know what was the recoil, yeah, it would be really fearsome shooting, I guess. And it wouldn't be fun, I guess, because you always had to be in fear you'll break your hand, your hand handle, because, yeah, the Desert Eagle is, it's not a pistol, it's a carbine, in my opinion. If you look at the feeding ramp and the feeding of the bullets, it's from an AR-15, it's a Desert Eagle. And yeah, Desert Eagle as well is a hand cannon. It's in 50 Action Express at least. 357 and 44 Magnum, I guess it's maybe a different story, but I don't have any experience shooting a rear gun at all, and just what I see on YouTube. 50 Action Express, a lot of people are saying it's not fun to shoot, and I can imagine why. Yeah, Resident Evil series, long video as well. And yeah, 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica, still my favorites. And yeah, just want to talk about Resident Evil, and I did. Hope you liked the video, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.